My name is Jake Vermeer and I farm 20 minutes south of Camrose, Alberta, and I farm together with my parents, Marijn and Ans Vermeer. My parents first immigrated to Canada from the Netherlands in 1993. We started with 40 cows, and every time we needed to make a purchase on the farm, whether it being land or a tractor or any sort of capital investment, my parents always bought quota at the same time and kept growing the farm. And we haven't missed a beat. We continue to push forward, trying to improve on every aspect of the farm, using the latest technologies to really enhance the efficiency of our herd. So today we milk 600 cows in an outside 40 rotary. We milk 3 times a day, and we have about a 38-liter average with a 4.2, 4.3 butterfat. We use a pre-sink off-sink for breeding the cows, and we have a pregnancy rate of about 25%. Our farm has been using Alta genetics since the beginning. Alta started coming around in, I think it was 94 to our farm, and we've always been with them. The main reason why we've been with Alta is we're a strong believer that you can buy good semen at every single company, but Alta delivers customer service. So now that we're creating all these really high-end females and giving the most genotypes that they're able to achieve, we need to get these calves rocking from the beginning. Like how much energy and can we get into these calves, and how much can we replicate Mother Nature in these calves' ability to grow in the first 60 days, right? And so we use the post-day 1 to be able to achieve that, and we've seen some really great results. Our farm is really big into data, and I'm a really big data guy, and about a year and a half ago we started weighing all the newborns and weighing calves when they were weaned and recording a lot of the treatments. And so we started entering all this data, and after about 6 to 8 months we got together with Alta and looked at some of the data that was coming out of the calf barn. And once we kind of had a baseline for where we were, we said, how can we now improve this? Everything we're doing on the farm in the freestall environment is mimicking how a cow behaves in nature. Automatic calf feeders are a really good example of how calves drink from a mother naturally. A calf in pasture doesn't go to the mom and drink 2 times a day 3 liters. She goes multiple times per day and drinks small amounts. So calf feeders have mimicked that. Now the other thing a cow does is it doesn't stop producing colostrum after day 1. A calf goes to the mother and drinks colostrum, or transition milk we call it, for 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, and that's where post-day 1 fit in perfectly for us. So our farm implements a just-in-time calving system. Employees are here around the clock, always monitoring cows that are close to calving. Once a cow is ready to calve, we move them into our calving pens here in the maternity barn, where we're really able to isolate calves for the first 2 weeks and optimize health during that period. It's when the calf is the most weak and she needs the most help to be able to get off to a good start. We feed a supplement 3 liters of the high-cal colostrum to the calves at birth. The second feeding happens at the next milking, so again she receives 3 liters of colostrum then. And then once the calf is fed those 2 feedings of colostrum, we begin the post-day 1 with high-cal and continue that until day 7. We said, okay, let's start seeing if we can get average daily gains up and weaning weights up, and then eventually get age of first breeding up, and then further to that, seeing if we can get more milk in the first lactation. All these little things compound into bigger things, and we're really big believers in that. So we started testing and experimenting with the post-day 1, and it's made a really big difference for the health of the calves, and therefore we're creating a better calf, a stronger calf, and a much healthier calf right from the bat. So how we're using the high-cal colostrum in the post-day 1 SOP is we're feeding whole milk from our pasteurizer, and we're mixing 75 grams of high-cal to every 2 liters of whole milk that we're feeding to the calves. It mixes very easy, and there's no clotting going on. We feed the milk right away to the calf, and we're doing that twice a day. When we continue that on until day 7 of life, and then they go back to drinking whole milk. And that really allows the calves to have that buffer in their immune system and able to coat their intestines to fight against bacteria that might be in the environment for the first 7 days. So one of the data sets that our farm really looks at is average daily gain in the first 60 days of life. So prior to using post day 1, we looked at calves born from January 1st to June 1st, and we had over 100 calves in that group, and they were averaging about 710 grams a day. We started to implement the post day 1, and from June 1st to October 1st of this year, we sat at a 770 gram. We looked at the data set from the calves from the first 10 days of life, and we were sitting at a 26% treatment rate. We started feeding the post day 1, and those numbers now sit at 4% treatment rate. So that's a huge reduction in the amount of treatments we're doing in the first 10 days of life. We do a lot of recording with the dry matter intakes of calves in the group housing rooms, and we saw an increase in the amount of feed that they were intaking just prior to being weaned. And to us, that really shows how that calf's ability to be able to transition from being weaned to the TMR diet, and we're really happy with the calves being able to wean better. So that really showed us that the post day 1 was getting these calves off to a great start, eliminating some of the treatments that we were doing. Scours was way down, the pneumonia later was way down, and that was really important to our farm, both to drive the numbers, trying to improve average daily gains and weaning weights, but also from an animal welfare standpoint, that we were treating a lot less and using a lot less antibiotics. And slowly the farm is becoming way more sustainable by doing little things like this to improve our management that have big effects later on in life. I'm a big believer that in 2 years' time, when we start seeing these first heifer calves that went through the post day 1, we'll see a lot more milk in the first lactation, we'll see less health events in the first lactation, and we'll be able to monitor all of the effects that post day 1 had on the calf's life throughout her entire lactation and throughout her entire lifespan here on our farm. But we also, when we walk through the calf barn, and especially me when I walk through, I see healthy calves. I don't see scouring anymore. I don't see the pneumonia cases that we used to. And that for me is really important from an animal welfare standpoint. We're not needling calves as often. We're not using the antibiotics that we need to be using. And we've cut down on all those levels, and that's really important to us as a producer in a time of an era where consumers are more and more concerned about the product and where the food is coming from. With the high cal, we're able to really cut down on all those things. And the data is one thing, but it's really important for me to be able to walk through my calf barn and see healthy calves. And that's really important to us, is to be able to create a 4-event cow earlier and faster, and be able to continue that through to her entire lifetime. I think one of the most exciting things of the future of this farm is our continued relationship with Alta Genetics, and it's something that we really value. And as we continue to push the envelope and be the top 5% of the industry, Alta will be an integral part at our table, and someone that we always rely on for advice, guiding us through to the next phase of this farm. One of my biggest passions is that we're trying to grow this business to be the best it can be, but the ultimate goal is to pass it on to the next generation. So one day my kids will be able to walk through these barns and get the most out of these cows that they can, and that's something that I really look forward to.